Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, again, I'm going to try this. Welcome to the your Resource for Success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore. Welcome to another night of sharing. Again, we have with us Cristy Joy, founder of Joyful Self Wellness Center. Cristy is a mother of 4 grown children and is an entrepreneur. Cristy opened Joyful Self Wellness Center to offer a space to explore personal development workshops on healing our mind, body, and spirit. Itself, they offer private one-on-one sessions to help the guests clear the fear and blockages that are holding them back from becoming the best version of themselves. Cristy's own journey of discovery began following 2 car accidents and personal trauma, a challenging time she sought alternative heal both physically and emotionally. Her goal is to the community have the center be a place of healing and a resource for self-empowerment. At the Self Wellness Center, you will honor yourself, heal wounds, clear your mind, try something new, be silly, and step out of your comfort zone. Again, let's come to the platform, Ms. Cristy Joy. Hi, Cristy.
So great, Kimberly. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. It's my pleasure. I can actually hear you now, so this is a good thing.
That's awesome.
So to listeners, look, I don't do a show unless it is right. So for those, I hope you all here and are listening to our show this evening, because we have such a great individual on the platform tonight, and let her have a show that we could not understand everything she was saying. So Cristy, if you could just take a couple minutes and tell everybody a little bit more about yourself beyond what we have, what I have read, and tell us what's going on.
Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Well, Joyful Self was created about years ago, and it was during a difficult time, like you were saying. After 2 auto accidents, I was going through personal trauma, going through a divorce, and I said, God, I need to serve. Just please, goes up in the air, and that's just like, I'm ready. I'm just ready for some change in my life. I had to do some holistic healing alternatives for the auto accidents that I had, and I was finding that this was great helping my body in a natural way. I wasn't getting any prescription things, and it was helping. And I then started to go to some workshops. The workshops were really helping. They were helping me clear my mind. They were helping me heal some past wounds that I've been holding on to for years. It was helping me get through the divorce, the personal trauma. So I want this for others. I'm so excited that I'm healing. I'm 40 years young, and a lot of these things I had been holding on to for a very long time. And I was starting this journey on my own. So I wanted that for others. Have that great feeling within yourself, that joyful self. You want that. You want to spread that message. And that's what Joyful Self is. I have a center, and we are to it now. I'm so pleased with the people that I'm meeting, the connections. I met you, Kimberly, last year, and it was a wonderful experience. And I've had my center, and you've helped people talk about the domestic violence, and to help people go out of the comfort zone in writing and publishing and working on things like that. So I'm excited about being here tonight and spreading this word about Joyful Self. I want more people to come. I want people to join us and this message of light spread in the very stressful world that we have at this moment. And I believe that one person start making that change happen. So thank you for the platform of being able to spread that message.
Well, you are welcome, and it's my pleasure. And I can still hear a little interference. I'm hoping that our listeners out there hearing everything that Christy's saying, because she's right. Their organization is phenomenal. They have a lot of things that they help individuals go through. Women are specifically kind of catered to something gone through, and me having to on her platform and teach people how to rewrite their stories, publishing, and giving you the opportunity that you can rewrite your story the way that you want it to be heard and realize that you have purpose. That was a phenomenal thing, and are continuing our relationship so that we can continue to bring more opportunities available for those who are interested in learning how to self-publish. But again, like I said, this isn't about me. I really want to focus on you, Cristy, because a lot. And yes, in the process of the things that you've gone through with the car accidents and some of the personal trauma, and you've also gone through other personal things, through divorce and all those types of things. Talk about that journey and what really inspired you beyond the thing that happened to you to have a center like this available for women, besides some of the things you've already described, really kind of focus on your journey and like I said, the options that you decided to get into this.
I'm glad you brought that up, because one of your questions was about who inspired you. Someone in life about 4 years ago, and I know I talked to you about this, and her name was Alex, and she was a young girl. She was the best friend and easily became my surrogate daughter. So we built this relationship. She is a light. She's silly. She was starting to help me through that process of my silliness again, finding my authentic self. And I believe it has brought people in and out to teach you something. Certainly did. We told her about the joyful self and have it on my heart, and that I wanted to do it. She was 1,000% behind me. We're going to do it together. She had been going through this, and it was tough to see her go through that, but it was also inspiring to see her live life fully. And even though she had this terminal, she didn't want anyone to know that that's what she had. She was Alex. She was not cancer. And she helped me. She helped me develop, get out of my comfort zone, a lot of things. So we did lose like 2 years ago. So that was a time where the center was just about to open up. And it was very good to move forward. And I knew that she wanted to move forward. And it was something, thankfully, the process of personal workshops that I had been going through, that I could get to the point where I start to move forward and move through the grief and keep pursuing my passion. I knew it was the right path to go. I knew that it felt right. And I smiled so much when I was talking about it. That was the light inside of me. And Alex had helped bring that light out. She was this catalyst. And I'm honoring her at Joyful. She's here. She's in every workshop we've had. Her spirit is here. She's guiding from the other side. And I just think it's very important that you can have things that happen in your tragedies, but you can still work through it. I was going through the divorce. I had personal trauma. I had this huge obstacle to go through of pain, grief, and yet I still worked through that, found inner joy. I kept moving forward with it. I just want to be that light for others. You too can move through this difficult pain. We also have a lot of false beliefs that women at all ages believe about themselves, that it all starts when we're younger. It's either someone telling us something that's not right about us or ourselves comparing ourselves to others. And it's such a shame because we conform to the way society and our family wants us to be, and yet that's not our authentic self. So I'm here as an instructor, Joyful, to help you back to that your authentic self. So where you're finding that energy and life starts to shift for you. And it's a beautiful transformation to see that in guests that walk through this door. And if I only helped in that process one person, that was so gratifying. But it's been time again that something has clicked and shifted in our guests, and they keep coming back. And it's not me. And I say that to everyone. I'm just this catalyst. I'm just having this place and holding this space for everyone to come in, and it's themselves doing the hard work of shifting these thoughts and patterns that you've had established for years about yourself. But it's not too late to change.
Exactly.
Alex's life cut short, but she did so much and she touched so many in 8 years. And I want everyone to start living the moment. We don't know how long and this isn't about doom and gloom. It's about living life, getting past the stuff that's been holding you back. Do what you want to do in life. So that's our goal here. And our mission is to help people get past those fears, the emotions that are holding them back, knowing which direction they should. So many resources here to help someone in and start to figure that out. And I'm very proud of that. I have some excellent resources, counselors, recovery coaches, and regression therapists that are to help. And some people are a bit of a different healing modality. But once you come and learn some basic meditation, breathing is like huge. Just start to breathe during the day and start to clear your mind. It shifts a lot in your world, and you can react differently to the situations that you might have overreacted to or just shut down. So a lot of these tools are offered in these fun classes, these, really in-depth workshops. And so we're just proud to want to we, because it's just not, I'm here to host it and instructors in, but it's a collective that is causing this light to be shone in the Lehigh Valley. Super excited about it.
Right. And I was listening to what you were saying. It definitely takes one person to change everything. As you're saying, it's very short. We hear about it every day that, a lot of people live for, well, tomorrow will be done. Tomorrow they'll get, we don't know when tomorrow's going to get here. And then we have another portion of life where some people just don't know what their purpose is and why they go through, because we all have gone through how to pick yourself up. But then what you offer is an overall of what you can do to help you get to that next level. Because like you said, sometimes you can't on your own, and it's okay. But at the same time, no purpose is makes you who you are, no matter what the tragedies you've been through. And, going through divorce and then doing other things with the accidents and all that. I mean, I guess there's many days you probably said, I want to get back up.
Yeah, there was. Especially now, way. That was something that really knocked me to. And only now that I'm thinking I could help, I could be a listener, I could help give you a resource of who you can talk to if you're suffering through a terminal illness or an illness that's debilitating. There's so many things that you can do, and I'm so proud. We have so much. It's just amazing. Like, someone will call me and say, I'm going through this. I'm in this domestic abuse situation. And I'll be like, okay, this is who I can have you connect with. And that's what is beautiful. No one feels, and I've had so many women contact me and say, I just need to share this with someone. Do you have a few moments to talk? And then we talk, and I give them not to a paid workshop, because it's not what this is all about. This is about helping women and now men, and I'll get to about finding the self-care, because a lot of women especially, we had, I actually am a leader with Vicky Casella and Wandra King, and we wanted to offer a free event each month on the Monday. It was the Lehigh Valley Women's Empowerment. It's all about self-care. And I remember that very first session, we sat around, we had probably about 10 to 12 women show up, and it's free. And we said, what kind of self-care do you do? They didn't even know what self-care was. They didn't even know anything. So, we got into it, and, we don't come into it with a script. We just know that whatever the topic is for the night, it's going to flow in that circle, because just knowing that you're not alone, someone will say, you know what, this is what I did in that situation. And it's all very nice and respectful, and no one jumps in over anyone or overpowers. It's all about turning and lifting that person up. And that's what we should be doing here, is lifting other women up, turning around and lifting them up.
Yeah, and when it comes to self-care, most people, they may not understand the wording, but 90 times as women, we have a tendency to take care of many others and not take care of ourselves. Yeah, so that we're like, oh, you want me to take care of myself? What do you mean? Why should I do that, or how do I do that? And, like I said, having a place like Joyful Self Wellness Center available for women and for men to and say, this is all I need. I don't know what I need. This is where I need to be.
Exactly. And that's a good segue for then. For the last year, we had the Lehigh Women's Empowerment Group. I knew I was meeting men coming into these workshops. Not as many men as women, because I don't think they're ready I didn't feel that they were ready for it, but they're coming in, and I'm meeting these enlightened men. And I'm like, all these women are becoming enlightened. Don't we want our sons, our husbands, our boyfriends to have that same opportunity of becoming enlightened, become aware of their authentic self? And because they live in a different than we do. They have different society and familial things that they deal with. So Joyful Self now is presenting the Enlightened Man Project, and I chose 2 leaders that I felt were excellent to help men in these areas of self-care and relationships, work relationships, personal relationships, family relationships. Just a safe place that the average Joe can come in and feel like it's a structured thing, just come in and talk and just be with the guys. And I just present it. It's here hosted at Joyful Self, but the 2 men are leading it. And it's going to be a beautiful thing, I believe, for the men of the Lehigh Valley as well. So we're super excited about that, offering that. Just want to get the word out them, because I'm these boys as well. They're men now. And I want the same thing for them. I want them to be feeling and light and feeling like they can work through their past traumas. Because believe it or not a perfect mother, and never will say that as. They're all going through things, and having 4 kids. I have a daughter. She's my oldest. They all have a different of how they grew up in our house, and they need to work on the issues of what they're dealing with, their hearts, their minds, and their spirit. And I just want the same for them. I want them to find their authentic self, and that role on them. I started this, I think it was 46 when I started this, that I could start over. I can find a new purpose in life. Is so meaningful. I could be happier than I've ever been in my entire life, childhood and all different ages, 20s, 30s, 40s. I'm feeling the best version of myself, and I'm very happy about that. Like, it's a peaceful, contentful way to live life. And if something forbid, I've led a peaceful life, and I've worked on myself, so you can leave a legacy that way. And that's all I think that this world is about. And life is just an example of kindness, respect, and showing love to others. And that's what Alex showed me. So I came full circle to her again.
Right, exactly. And I do like that. A lot of times, like I said, we put our focus on the women, and so it's great that you're also putting focus on the men to feel like they have a place where they can feel secure. You talked about, and they can talk about the things that they wouldn't talk about probably with their buddies, or just in general with their family and other friends, because of judgment. And we know that men have a tendency to keep things to themselves, and you would never know how they even got to the point until obviously we all get to a certain point and we can explode. But talk to me a little bit more about the challenges that you face starting this. Because like you said, you're not the only organization that has different programs available, but the thing that I love that's about you is that the body that helps you. Like, it's not always about coming in and paying for something. It's about truly getting what you need. Talk a little bit about the challenges that you have been facing either currently or you have in the beginning of starting this business.
Sure. Well, we started this about 3 years ago. I found a location that I thought was perfect. I actually, the women were coming to me, and it was this beautiful building, and I was going through the whole process of this path. This is where I was to be. I was being this building, being led to me, and that was all being manifested. But it wasn't until probably 8 months in, you're going through the banking, you're trying to do all the things, you're building your business, and you're doing all this. I've had many years of being this entrepreneur, so that didn't scare me. It was putting the time and the effort and finding the right location and doing all the research. You should, if you're starting any business, you really know your demographic of who's going to be coming to you, researching who else is in the area. And so I was doing a lot of that. It was all good. Those were all things. During the mix of that, when Alex, so that I do have to include her in that story, because at that point I was having roadblocks. Particularly after Alex passed, I started getting challenged as to think outside the box, finding an alternative idea. And I do have this beautiful story. It was a month after Alex had passed, and I had gone to a labyrinth, and I walked that labyrinth and talked to Alex and said, what should I do next? This center, and she said, it's going to open on your birthday. And my birthday was September. My birthday's in November. I said, you're out of your mind. Like, that's not going to happen. And fast forward 3 months, I found this building 2 weeks for my birthday, and I actually signed the lease on my birthday, and it was not planned at all. So I believe we should, listen to our intuition, listen to those thoughts that we get. This is what you need to do. Follow it, so that you can then have stories of like, yeah, I signed my somebody in this, and I'm in this great location, great landlord, and this building is filled up with women. It's most women businesses in here. So it's the perfect location, and we're all building off each other. There's counselors in this, the LGBT, transgender, the counselor for that. There's counselors for family counseling. There's holistic counseling. There's Wanda Kane, who's my really good friend, I had her on your show before. She is out there with Connect, so she did the networking. We're all working together, uplifting each other, and not feeling competitive. And women, I believe, are very competitive. It was in the past, and we wanted a place where that's the door. You don't need to do that. You need to uplift others. And we're all going far because of that. We're building on each other. We're meeting the connections. And even had that, and it was challenges for myself. I'm not saying I have more challenges than anyone else. That's not true. I've heard stories here, and it always humbles me even more of what people go through. But it was my challenge, and I threw it, and I'm in a better place now because of it. So I don't have any regrets of those challenges, because those are the things that taught me the most in life. It moves you. It motivates you. Pain and difficult times are the things that actually push you past of being stuck in your comfort zone. So,
exactly. Yeah, but the thing I like that you said, that each one of the women who are located in a particular building are building each other up. So, you're doing your own thing, but at the same time, you're using the space in a way to where it's abundant. It gives you this that normally it's hard to find, that you could actually go into a building and realize, offer, and then build all these businesses at the same time, because women generally don't work together all the time. And we've said 100 times that these things continue to happen. And of course, we do have the positive side. Women do actually work together and can get along well and help soar. But it's amazing how someone can see something, obviously, that Alex had seen in you as well, that you weren't at that point, but then here you are 3 years later doing something that you love, and still feeding people's souls, because that's really what your organization is about. It's not, like I said, just about the simple things of, come to this class or do this, do that. It really is about helping those who can't help themselves.
Right. It's being there. Most of the people want you to listen, and just that whole thing of listening and just be like, I understand. You are not alone. And that's huge, because women, we tend to think, got it. I don't need any help. I'm and we try to be super women, and I was one of those for sure. With 4 kids, I can do it all. And
exactly.
I was exhausted. In my 30s, I was exhausted. And I kept saying that. I'm exhausted. Why? And I kept saying, when I find peace, why can't I find peace? And until I actually made the choice to change the pattern of insanity of doing the same thing over and over again. And that's where I found my joy. And another side note, too, is my middle name. And you mentioned it at the beginning, is Joy. I never used that word in my entire life. And the one day I was signing my divorce papers, I have the full length of your name, and I was writing Cristy, and I started writing Joy. A voice in my head said, "You found your joy." And it wasn't my voice. It was something very powerful. And now to this day, I am using joy on everything when I'm writing. And that is how Joyful Self came into fruition, because I wanted to present that joy that I found again within myself through my personal trauma. But it was something that motivated me, and I'm very happy and regrets about the path my life has led, because it's led me to exactly where I need to be and the timing that I need to be.
Exactly. And I was always wondering, okay, I kept seeing your name. I'm like, all right, you're missing something here, or not doing this right. So now it all comes together. It makes sense that your middle name is perfect, because I always thought that was cute. I'm like, oh, Cristy, that's cute. And I just thought, at first, sometimes we all give certain names to help us get through what we need to get through. But you're right. You have an opportunity to really, truly understand who you are and bring back the joyful you, and not have to sit back and wonder why anymore. So it was perfect.
Thank you. It was too. So now I'm honoring all sides of me. I'm a redhead. I didn't like that when I was growing up either. So that goes into a workshop we just had the other evening. Very proud of it. And it's something that we're going to be doing more often. Very important topic. We came up with the title of The Story I Tell Myself. And as women, there's something we tell ourselves daily. And it's usually not good. And we've been doing it for years. This is the story we've been telling ourselves. And one day, walking down, it's a nice area, and there was a boutique. I walked in, and Rick was with me. He's an awesome guy that's with me. And the shop. And next thing you know, shop owner's a pastor. We're starting to connect. It was meant to be like a to walk. And we developed this shop last Friday evening. Called in another instructor, because I knew exactly who I wanted to come in and taught it. It was Christina. She's the CEO of My Curves. She's a brilliant, infectious woman. And she's talking about embracing all your curves. We've all been either mothers, or we have body shape we're not happy with. We've not been happy with them for years. And she helped rethink yourself. And one of the compelling things she said at this last workshop, why are we having a war against our bodies? awareness about our body. So it was beautiful. We had a team there all the way up to women all the 60s. And we went around that group and said, okay, what's one thing that you don't like about yourself or your body? And around the group. And like, okay, what's one that you love about yourself? And it was harder to get that out of them. They had lists about what was not good with themselves or their body. And it was very impactful for the 4-year-old because that is a pivotal time where before all this information continue our lives, our 20s, 30s, our 40s, 60s, like these women that were there, and they're still holding to the same beliefs about themselves. And this 14-year-old said, she just said, I'm just so grateful that you could show me that you've worked through all these things and you're having these issues, but you're here and you're strong and you're all these things. She goes, it's so hopeful for her, 14-year-old, like she's not alone. She had images and she just was like, I just don't feel alone now. I feel like it's everyone. We all feel this way. We did an exercise and we're doing this more often. It was a beautiful week, so we were going out of our comfort zone. I always love doing those things. Trying on a new color, a new cut, a new style, just trying it on. And as that try in that room, we're uplifting you. I think this is great on you. I think you should try this. This with your eyes or this. And it was just a very positive evening. And we're going to now continue to do that at different local boutiques for women and about their self, their body positivity, their relation to themselves, and how to get past those false beliefs about ourselves. So,
yeah, no, that sounds phenomenal because it's definitely something to love. And we actually are our worst is to ourselves. And
yes,
I could be in that. Probably those will sit in that room thinking the same thing. That what's the most positive? 90% of the time, that's the hardest thing to say about ourselves. And so that event was absolutely. Because I definitely was following that on Facebook the other night. Like, something that we need to do more of is stop body shaming ourselves. That we will continue, but it's that continual reminder that we are.
We are. And the constant thing that was coming up about when you're trying to praise yourself, the women consistently saying, "But I don't want to be vain." And I'm like, this is not about being vain. This is about self-care and self-love.
Exactly.
We're taught that it's vain to talk about ourselves and bodies. So it's an important topic, and the three of us, the Pastor John and Christine Joy are from CO Kirk. We are definitely going to be doing more workshops around here. It's an important topic, and it affects women throughout their lives. We're going to do one of those things.
All right. Well, awesome. So what I would like to do, we're definitely running out of time. So I wanted to find out a little bit more of if you have any message you would like to share with the listeners this evening.
Sure. Well, tomorrow evening, we're having a past life regression therapy for a 2.5-hour workshop. And that is actually the very first workshop I've done 3 years ago. It literally changed my trajectory of my journey. And I continually have her once a month, Jessica Ramirez of Explore Your Lives. And she helps you go into your lives, find where the trauma started, because it's not in a lifetime. And like going into a very deep meditation, and it helps tremendously. So that's a big one. Next month, like I said, we'll have a new tell my story. I think it's September 13th, and then obviously we're hoping to reschedule and have the self publishing work with you and network event coming up soon. So those are a few of the things, but you can check them all at joyfulself.com, my website, and you can email me there and send any information, or on Facebook, Joyful Self Center. We have all of our events located on there.
All right. Okay. So do you have any last words before we close out this evening?
Well, I had said something about giving some advice. The best advice I can give is to take the time to work on yourself. It's so important to love on yourself. That's the very first person you should be loving. And it's not vain. It's not selfish at all. It is the best thing that you could do for yourself, for your partner, for children. And when you start to work on yourself daily, you begin to return to yourself, to your authentic self. You make a little shift. And we want that for you, for all of your listeners. We want that shift to start to happen to you. We want that light to start shining from you. When we're children, we have this light. We have this carefree and we can do anything type of attitude. I want that for every listener that's out there tonight, to be saying, you know what, I can follow this. I can follow my passion. So And if anyone needs help on that, Joyful Self can help you with that.
Absolutely, sure. And so, as you guys all heard it live here, I have this wonderful woman, Miss Cristy Joy, and I want to repeat something I read earlier in the evening because I love this part. At the Joyful Self Wellness Center, you will honor yourself, heal past wounds, clear your mind, try something new, be silly, and start comfort. So, if this is where you need to be, make sure that you reach out to Cristy Joy. Like she said, you can find her on Facebook. You can also find her through her website. Just mentioned here recently, or just 2 seconds ago. So it's important that you know that there's somebody out there that is available, not just with herself, but there's so many other women who are helping and assisting, as for men as well, that you can go there and talk about the things that you need to fess within yourself with, and it's okay. So reach out to Cristy. Cristy, it's been an honor to have you on. We still had a few technical issues, and hopefully we got through those. If not, ladies and gentlemen, I'll let you know you'll be back again because there's just too much great information that needs to be shared. And my program is all about sharing those resources. And so we will be here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Same time, same place. We have another new guest next week. And so again, we'll see you soon. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Cristy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.